Hello everyone, Michael here from Avesi, and today I'd like to share with you 3 considerations for building a rain garden. Now this is part 1 of a 3-part series, and I'll link the other ones in the description below as they become available. All the subjects that I'm talking about today are already covered in my book, The Modern Rain Garden, and those that are not will be in the 2nd edition, which I'm working on right now and will probably release either at the end of 23 or the beginning of 24. In this first part of the series, we're going to be talking about getting water to the rain garden. So with that, let's get started. Now, the first thing I have for you is keep it above ground. And with that, I mean the water that's coming off of the roof is contained in a downspout. People often have the knee-jerk reaction of let's try to bury this downspout and bring it into the rain garden underground. Now, I have done that in the past. It's something that I do kind of as a last resort situation if I know that keeping water on the surface is not an option. Because once you start burying pipes, now the grade of the rain garden, the grade of the inlet, the grade of everything drops. So if you've got a situation where the landscape is relatively flat, and a lot of times we see that in landscapes that are soggy or wet, is they're kind of flat and the water's not moving anywhere. Now, if you've got slopes or grades, you might be able to get away with burying something a little bit easier because then you can bring the pipe to daylight. But the basic point of this is keep the water at or near the surface as much as possible and don't look to bury things right away. You can, but there's a whole host of other considerations that have to come once you start burying pipes. And number 2 is to armor the inlet. And what I mean by that is the inlet is the portion of the rain garden that actually receives the water. So as the water is moving, typically the water comes with a little bit of force to it, right? So if you don't put rocks or crushed gravel or even recycled concrete or something like that to dissipate the force of the water, it can leave an erosion pit and kind of mess with the sediment deposition ratio of the rain garden itself. So as water is coming in, make sure you know where that is, be intentional about it, and put some stones or rocks there just to help, again, dissipate the force of the water. And the third and final consideration for this part is the outlet, which is how is water getting out of the rain garden if it's full and still receiving water. Now, there are many rain gardens that I build where they don't need an outlet because either the space of the rain garden is enough to absorb all the water that it's going to be getting, or it's the rain garden's put in a low spot where there's no real way to put the water. So I'm not saying that absolutely every rain garden needs an outlet, but if it does, where is it going to go? Be intentional about it, because if it fills up and it's still receiving water and there's no designated outlet, the water is going to probably carve a path in the berm somewhere. So this is also something that I have done after the fact, is I won't build an outlet and then I'll let the water come in, see where the water naturally breaks through the berm, and then I'll just intentionally build an outlet there. So you could go about it either way, where you build it off the start that way and you shape it accordingly, or you could just leave it as a bowl and then let any overflow that might come determine where the outlet goes. But typically the way it goes is water in, water stored, water out. So there you go. So that's all I got for you today. This is part 1 of a 3-part series on rain garden considerations. Through my social channels, I talk about all things rain gardens and rainscaping. So feel free to follow me here on YouTube and on Instagram at Avesi Stormwater. Now, my book, The Modern Rain Garden, is available through Amazon and through my website. I'll put links in the description below this video. Thanks, guys.